Hello. Thanks
Hello.
for joining us. This is Thompson's Talk Movies, and we are, like always, Thompsons who talk about movies.
We love movies.
Yes, indeed.
Yes.
We do. Less indeed.
I watch a movie a day, really.
It's...
I'm just saying.
At least a TV episode a day.
I definitely do
Yeah.
that. Or three.
Exactly.
Totally.
Yeah.
Today we all went to the theater to see Tenet,
Dun, dun, dun.
which was kind of crazy.
Theaters are open.
And I went to the theater to see the last shift as well, actually, with some friends. What did you guys see?
I'm going to speak about a Netflix series called Messiah. That's my...
Sweet.
Have you finished it?
No. No. I like that one. I haven't finished it yet.
How about you?
I watched The Queen's Gambit.
Oh, two competing Netflix series.
Nice. Oh, nice. Okay, sweet. And none of us have seen Mandalorian season 2 yet, right?
No.
Oh man, I haven't done that yet either.
Oh,
I
man,
want to.
DeLorean. Yeah.
You haven't even
Stretch
watched the
it out.
first season
I'm
yet.
thinking about watching the first season.
It's
It's too easy.
What do you mean it's too easy?
It's just like... It's just too easy to watch.
Sure.
Yeah, it's
It's
What do you
super
mean?
good though. It's super good.
What do you mean it's too easy
They're
to
only
watch?
like 30 minutes long and stuff like
Oh
that. too.
no, I want to wait 5 years to watch a Star Wars movie. That's what it sounds like.
It's like the only. Well, I mean, it's not the only Star Wars TV show either, but there are others that are coming out soon.
I
So
suppose I should watch it, huh?
it's pretty good. Yeah.
Is the second season coming out there soon?
It came
first
out
episode's already
5
out.
days ago.
The first episode.
They didn't do all of them at the same time.
No, that's what they did last.
Okay,
first
good.
season
I
as well.
I didn't know that.
They do it like weekly or like every 2 weeks to
Okay,
like
good,
give you
good.
like so you can
So it's
watch.
not all
So you're
at
not
once.
binging it in like
yeah,
3
right,
days.
right. Okay, that's good. You just have to wait.
But some
for
people just wait
8 weeks
and
and then
just
binge
watch
it all
all
at the same
10
time.
episodes or 8.
I did 2 or 3
episodes.
at a time when I was watching it, but I tried to space it out.
I mean, just as an example, how long did it take you to watch The Queen's Gambit?
Probably like 7 days,
Oh,
okay.
That's pretty legit.
a week. Because like I watched.
That's 7
Because I
episodes,
watched
think.
2 episodes. I watched like 1 episode, then 1 episode, then 1 episode, then I watched like 3 in one day, and then took a break for like 2 days, then watch another one, and it's 7 episodes.
Don't you think that the absolute extra longest
Maybe I
we've
watched
ever done
6
it is
episodes.
Breaking Bad?
Yeah.
Because you and I actually still haven't
Yeah,
finished it
we
yet.
still
Hey,
haven't- we still
don't
have 2
spoil it
episodes
for us,
left.
Oh, my
viewers. Yeah,
goodness.
There's
Andy.
only 2 episodes.
No, I
left.
won't. Don't worry. I didn't watch. I watched enough
It's
of that.
it's kind of your fault though for like the first break.
I can't remember. Yeah, I think I went to Guatemala or something.
We
Like,
watched
oh,
like
Oh,
the
sure.
first, like the last season we had left, and then he left to Guatemala, and then we never
Oh, gotcha.
started
yeah.
again.
I've offered. Well, anyway, that's
Well, yeah, you
binging
got
on
for it,
Netflix
yeah.
is a whole new thing. I mean, it's
Yeah.
everybody knows it. Everybody's done it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, but that's why The
it's
Mandalorian's
fun.
good because you like, have to watch it weekly
That's
instead
good.
of
Yeah.
like
So
regularly.
right away.
But it also is so much like the
Doesn't it-
first couple episodes don't really add much to like the whole Star Wars story as a whole. But then like the last episodes are like, oh wait, that's how that happened.
Right. Kind of the same.
And there's
with
like
the first
also a
season, too,
cliffhanger
so-
as well.
Oh, sure. So third season, totally.
The first,
I mean, well,
you
yeah,
remember the cliffhanger at the end?
At the end of the first season. Yeah.
Yeah, and that was in actually Clone Wars.
Oh, really?
It's in that you know the thing. Well, we all know what it is, but I'm not gonna spoil it for everyone.
Right.
It's like it's in the Clone Wars and it's used by Mandalorians.
Oh. Okay. Do they
So-
call them Mandalorians in Clone Wars?
Oh yeah.
That word is not.
Oh no,
wasn't
it's
created
been
for
it's
this
been
show. Right?
no, it's been like in like the Star Wars universe.
Sweet. Okay.
It's just that not a lot of people have seen Clone Wars.
Right.
They
right.
don't know the story behind it. Like
That's probably the
Boba
least
Fett is a
watched.
Mandalorian,
Right. Right.
and like him and his son and
Mm-hmm.
Jango Fett or whatever, or no, Jango Fett I mean as well. He was like a pure Mandalorian,
Right.
Jango Fett, and that's like all the clones are technically Mandalorian DNA because they're all clones of him.
Damn. Yeah. Right.
So and
Crazy.
Mandalorians make really good fighters, so that's why they clone Jango Fett.
Right. Okay. Crazy. Well, getting off topic a little bit.
Yeah.
But
divergenous
speaking
behaviors
of
aside, yeah.
speaking of our main movie with a Tenet,
Right.
that
Right.
one. Just a little background. It was written, directed, and produced by Christopher Nolan. Inception and the latest, the the Christian Bale Batman movies. He directed all of those.
Yeah.
And Inception too, which I really like. That movie, it cost $205 million to make, and it's made $347 million. So
Tenet has?
Tenet, yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Even
Pretty
in the pandemic
Yeah,
times.
I
since
mean,
released.
it was kind of the biggest movie at the time. Like, there wasn't.
Yeah, there's
You're
like
not
no
real-
no one else
When was it released?
releasing.
The
Probably like 3 months ago.
September, yeah.
Yeah.
Or only I thought it was like
Beginning
I
of
wonder why they
September.
decided to release it.
It, I mean, it
There's
had
so
been
many
done
movies.
for a long time.
There's so many movies out, ready to be released. I would imagine.
But yeah, they.
Well, yeah,
it's kind of a one at a time.
It was kind of a nail biter, but my giant criticism of it is the soundtrack. It was really hard to hear what was going on.
A couple times it was weirdly hard to hear the dialogue.
Yeah, and I don't know
you're
what
right.
I thinking. Geez, this guy's like a. I mean, I assume it was done that way on purpose, but it makes for a fair amount of the movie kind of diff. I mean, the movie's hard to understand anyway.
Yeah, it's kind of.
And
odd.
so I was just looking it up to kind of refresh my memory on my phone, and it's this giant article of
Yeah.
Even after that, it goes,
keeps
well, it goes
going
back in
and
time
going.
and then forward in time, and then the reverse entropy, and then
Right.
just so you know what's going on, there was I'm thinking, what,
Right,
what,
yep.
what?
it goes from like, so it's just like a normal story, and then you're like, oh wait, then they like start doing the back in time stuff and forward in time, and then when it starts to be revealed, it just keeps revealing and then keeps revealing and then keeps revealing, and then you can't keep up, and you're like, oh,
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
like
okay, that's the
it's
end of the
cool.
movie.
The cool thing about it is it's not time travel like Back to the Future was.
Right.
No.
It's like a different theory of it or
Yeah,
something, and
yeah.
I don't think it's not.
It's not really time travel. It's
Yeah,
it's
time manipulation or something.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
They've found some other law of physics to
Right.
to exploit rather than Einstein's theory of
Well,
relativity or something.
and
like that.
the idea, basically, the idea of the story is that we have a main character who we never actually know the name of. They just call him protagonist in the movie and in the credits at the end, and he
Wait,
kind of
actually?
becomes like part of this secret society or secret government agency, and this government agency is able to send people back through time, not back in time, but back through time, technically being able to basically put things through this revolving door. And and they I mean, even cars.
They
and things like that.
they
So,
drive
they let-
backwards.
right.
Like
So
cars.
you if there's a car that has been turned around or whatever, you can go out on this other side of this building that they have.
Yeah, and then
And
also
the car drives backwards.
it's kind of like what they did.
and flips backwards and stuff like
It's kind of
that.
like what they did in Rick and Morty. They had to like go back in time to like give themselves the items that they
Right.
needed
Oh,
at
I just
the time.
watched that episode. Yeah, actually, yeah.
Then
Exactly,
Then
yeah.
they could do the stuff.
Right.
And then they're like,
Sort
when
of
they're, and
the
then
same idea.
and then later in the episode, they're like, oh shit, we got to go back in time.
Bill
to
and
do this.
Ted do that too, sort of.
Yeah,
like,
so it's
we
kind
just-
of
we can just go back.
Yeah, you
we can
got-
just go ahead and tell us what to do, and then we'll do it.
yeah. So
Stuff
that's like
that.
what they're doing, but they can't interact with each other.
right. Because
Or like in the Rick and Morty one, they're just like,
then you're really in
how
trouble.
did you get that black eye?
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So
That's like in season.
and then
4 or whatever.
that's a great episode. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then, yeah, our main character is sort of the rookie of this government organization,
Right.
this law enforcement agency, essentially, and the bad guy, played by Kenneth Branagh, is trying to start World War III, but how was he?
He's destroying the world.
Right. How was he? He had some fancy fandangled machine or something like that that was gonna
Right.
Oh yeah,
Gonna
destroy the world. Yeah.
destroy the world or something like that. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
I don't know how it works still to this
Right.
day.
Yeah. Right. This is one you might want to see twice if you liked
Or
it.
more. Yeah.
Or 3 or 4 times. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe watch it backwards too, just once. See what happens. See what
Oh,
happens.
that's true. Actually,
I
what
don't know.
if you actually
I
played
don't
it in
know.
backwards?
That would be fun. That would be fun. I'm
Maybe
sure someone's tried it.
Standing on your head and backwards, maybe. I don't know.
A couple other people that are in it. Robert Pattinson is his buddy, is his partner. You know him from Twilight and other things. Hopefully other things. Elizabeth Debicki is Australian. She plays Kenneth's wife, who's they have a tense relationship, let's say at the least. And then Michael Caine's in it for a little while too, because Michael Caine's in every Christopher Nolan movie. All 3 Batmans, Inception, and Tenet. All
Really?
5. Yep.
Oh.
All 5.
And
He's
it's
Alfred
also
in the
it
Batman,
could
so.
easily be a Tenet too, or like not
He's like-
not like Tenet, not called Tenet, probably called something else, but it's like a second or
But he could-
They definitely set up a sequel at the end of the movie.
oh
Yeah.
yeah, like at
kinda,
least a sequel in a way. Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like at the end he's like, "Oh, bro, you don't even know what's happening."
Yeah, right,
I
kinda.
mean,
You
a
know
lot,
it's
of
even
the
gonna
plot
happen.
is our protagonist sort of slowly figuring out what's going on.
Right,
Yeah, he's
yeah.
like, "Oh wait,"
And
then at the end
a lot
he
of,
realizes that he's actually at the top.
Right, yeah.
Like he's like the top guy,
yeah,
and the
yeah,
guy
but
who
he
was
doesn't-
helping him knew the entire time. And
But he had to
Yeah,
get
but
to
he's,
that
he's
point.
in a
Yeah.
group
too,
of.
so.
That's kind of interesting about the movies because protagonist. There's regular people who don't know what's going on. Mm-hmm. Then there's the people that are far more knowledgeable than him. Mm-hmm. You know, so he's
and
sort
they're
of in the
acting
middle.
like they don't know
He's-
anything.
Yeah, because
Right.
they don't want to ruin it for him or something. I'm not sure how that works.
Well,
but-
because no, they have to do it so that the events happen the same way,
right,
leading up to the present.
right.
Because he had to go back in time to teach him all these things and make it the same way,
Right.
so that the present happens the same way, or something like I don't know. It's
No,
still
that
it's
makes
still
sense.
complicated.
That's complicated, but it
Just
makes
like with
sense.
Rick and Morty, just how
Right.
they had to go back in time to give
When-
them the suits,
So
or
that eventually
so then they
get
could
the suits later
so
on
they
and
could
stuff.
eventually.
I think that
Make the suits
one of
later on,
another puzzling part is the first scene which is in like a concert hall, and I never really quite understood the significance of that later on. I kept thinking they were going to come back to that scene because they're always going forward and backward in time.
Right, yeah, no, I
And
thought
some of the things do come back, but that one never comes
Yeah,
back.
wait,
and so
didn't it?
once the
thought it came
movie
out.
like sort of came back to itself, I thought that scene was going to be the climax of the
Right.
scene instead of the one that actually happened.
yeah,
So
I don't think they come back to it.
they don't
Or at
come
least
back to it.
Maybe they.
There's
I don't know.
there's
if they do.
references to it because you see spoilers a little bit. Robert Pattinson's
Huge
has
spoilers already.
has a he's got like a special backpack and things like that. And
Oh.
he sees that Robert was there in the first scene later on. He
Oh, yeah.
recognizes
Yeah.
that little piece of yarn or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
And he
yeah.
sees that on his pack later on and something
Oh,
like that.
maybe
So,
so.
so Robert's character is there. It's a very intense scene too because
Right.
it's like a hostage negotiation thing. A bunch of terrorists break into a
And then they
like
get
a
rid of the bombs
concert
just at the right time.
Right, and they
Gas them so they can't.
so then there's
wiped.
there's like 2 or 3 different law enforcement agencies there, and the protagonist is part of the time manipulators a little bit already,
Right.
and but like that scene's very very intense. I like that beginning of the movie very
Yeah.
much.
Oh, there's also remember how they meet up with the group to go into the time thing? Like they never explain any of it, and they're just like, "Here you go. Here's your new team," and it makes.
Yeah,
mean,
like
they,
the
and they're able
commandos, like
to-
a bunch of army guys and stuff.
Yeah,
like that.
yeah. It's like,
those
oh,
guys.
okay.
Yeah,
I guess we're
Oh, yeah.
with these guys now.
that was
Oh,
kind
and
of
the
bizarre.
thing that no one cares about that I care about is how they do the combat in the movie.
Also,
With the army guys.
Yeah.
Oh,
At the end, when they're all grouped up in one chunk, moving to one position
it's-
where they're all around like that and they're just surviving, and
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, how does that work?
yeah.
You'd be completely wiped even if you had the best weapons.
Yeah. I had some troubles with the end of the movie.
The end of the movie is just
Me
them just
personally.
the combat is so bad, not the combat, but the formation of their
it's not
combat.
very realistic. Yeah,
It's not realistic at all.
Yeah.
It's like they're playing capture the flag with paintball guns. To me.
yeah.
but they ain't paintball guns.
But they're
paintball guns.
explosives.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
There was a
real
couple
weapons.
like in the same realm of Inception and kind of Batman too. Like Christopher has this great, I think, really good way of questioning the actual way you make these kind of movies and things like that, and especially with Inception because that one was so dang good. If you're thinking it's in another Inception movie, it's not that, but it's a very like movie mind bending way of telling a story and things like
Inception
that.
to me was a lot easier to follow.
Oh, sure.
Even though it's
Yeah.
pretty fantastical in
Right,
itself.
yeah.
Like in
But this
Tenet,
one
there's
is
like
even
there's
more-
like 10 plot twists.
This one is
You're like,
even.
oh
yeah.
my god, wait, that happened, and they're like, oh wait, that person was actually that person.
Yeah,
then
yeah.
you're
What
like,
movie are we
oh.
talking about now?
Tenet.
Oh, yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You're like,
yeah.
oh wait, so that guy was that guy the
Yeah.
whole time. But
Yeah.
You just didn't know.
Well,
So, I mean, I did like it. I
Yeah.
would suggest it to people.
Yeah, I
The
think-
climax was a little sort of just tacked on. I felt,
Anticlimactic.
yeah, it didn't really hold the tension the way the beginning and the middle of the movie did. I think it was just sort
Yeah,
of like
'cause
an army scene.
Once
It
you
was just a
realize
battle,
what was
so-
going on, you're like, oh, they're gonna like you said, they're gonna go back to the beginning and be like explain all of it and how
Right,
it happened.
right.
But then it's just like,
But they didn't. They it was like most of the movie was side by side.
Yeah, you would
but
think
then
that
the
the-
very end and the very beginning were its own thing. So like
yeah.
yeah.
Because I thought because throughout the whole movie you see like things going backwards and you're like, wait, what is going on here?
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, and then like, oh, they're probably gonna shoot back to that thing, but then they don't.
Yeah. So
well, yeah. I guess I'd recommend it. I guess from an interesting standpoint, we're giving it 3 ups, 3
Yeah,
ones.
yeah.
Okay.
I watched The Queen's Gambit. It's like the show about. It's like a girl who's basically just playing chess, honestly. And she like
right.
it starts from like a young age where she doesn't know what chess is, and then she learns what chess is. She's an orphan. She learns how to play chess. They realize that she's really smart and she can like memorize stuff like really easily, so she like does really well in chess. And then she just wipes every chess player.
sweet.
And then like the last 3 episodes is like her facing like the Soviet world champion, and this takes place in like the 1960s and 1970s, maybe 1980s, but 1960s and 1970s is when it takes place.
Is it a true story?
Is not a true story, no. Directed by Scott Frank.
I thought it might echo a little bit Bobby Fischer's story. If you know who Bobby Fischer was a young American chess player who ended up facing off against the Russians, and he was sort of meteoric in his rise to. And,
Did he win against him?
Yeah, he was the world chess
the
champion
best
for a
for a long
while, but he was. But this is a gal, and it's
Yeah,
all
and she
different,
like also like when she does drugs, she just like gets cheat codes, kind of like in her head, so she can cheat. So like in early stages, they take pills, tranquilizers, for like the orphans,
right?
and she like saves up a bunch, take
okay.
like 5, and then she can like see a chessboard.
Oh, okay.
Like when she's like going to sleep, she can like see like the moves and test all of the moves. Like what
Holy
if
moly,
if I
sure.
moved it like this way, what would happen and what would be the
my
best
opponent do?
reaction?
Sure.
Or if they moved it that, what would you do? So she like does that, and then later she just chugs alcohol,
Ooh, gotcha.
just chugs it, like just for like years,
Oh, gotcha.
and
How many
then
episodes are there?
7, and they're like 45 minutes to like 70-minute
Oh,
episodes.
okay. That's good. That's content there. Yeah.
Yeah, there's like one of the episodes like an hour and 10 minutes, and you're like,
Sure.
oh, okay.
That's kind of cool. I
It's,
kind
it's,
of. I mean,
it's riveting though.
Yeah.
Good. I mean, I've only gotten like 3
It's
episodes
about like
into it, but-
6 hours and like and a half
I like that
probably of
these-
content.
I like that these shows aren't like constrained by like the 22
22
minutes or the
or
45
11
minute
minutes.
or the 11
Right.
minute or the.
Is it
Yeah.
a complete show too?
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, it is.
kinda
Like
comes
it
to
finished.
conclusion?
No,
Yeah.
it did finish.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like,
Cool.
and the main actress is Anya Taylor-Joy. I think I've seen her before, but I don't really remember her. But there's not a lot of people that you know in here. Like I don't really recognize like any names at all.
It's good that like.
No, I didn't either.
Yeah, but it just came out on Netflix like 2 weeks ago or something like
Oh,
that.
wow. Gotcha.
It's,
Right.
But
It's number 1
Right.
on Netflix.
Right now,
yeah.
sure.
yeah, for like the past week, and it's like
Sweet.
it's really good. It's
It's one of those things that Netflix has really, done and really had some really fun shows.
Right.
Stranger Things,
Right.
various like
Yeah.
short series that are really good.
Yeah, and the
Yeah.
Queen's
different.
Gambit is just
Yeah.
like
I mean,
it's
who
like
would think
so
they could
it's so
a story
different.
about playing chess would be so
Yeah, because
riveting?
you
Right.
think it's kind of what I thought first of all was like, oh, they're gonna make the chess scenes really dramatic, but only like 10% of the series is actually playing chess,
Sure.
like the actual chess games, except for like the last
It's
episode.
more
The last
like-
episode's like half chess playing,
Sure.
but this one is just like
More about her reactions to the success.
Yeah.
to
She
every
grows up.
like
It's
to
a lot of
success
backstory.
and like
Sure.
like the first 3 episodes are
Her own
like her
problems.
growing up as an orphan,
Sure.
and then like her getting a foster home.
Is it in? It's in
Then-
America though, right? I mean,
Yeah,
takes
it is in
place the
America,
United States? Okay.
So she just like climbs the ranks. Like the first like episode or like second episode, she just goes to a high school because she's not at like real school, and she's like 10 or something like that, and she faces off like all the high school boys,
Sure.
and she just plays them all at once and just goes, yeah.
Plays
She
them
just
all at
wins
once.
all of them, and you're like,
Plays 12 at the same time.
yeah. And then she like she was like, that guy was supposed to be the best guy at the high school, but he wasn't really that good.
Right. Sure.
Yeah.
And then she like
Awesome.
starts getting
Yeah, famous.
yeah.
Sure. Awesome.
Like really easily,
That's
fast.
good.
So
Sweet.
highly
One.
recommend.
Nice. Yeah, that sounds
Right.
really good. I watched the movie The Last Shift. Another actual like in the cinema new movie this year. Came out in September 25th in theaters. It had been shown at Sundance on the 27th of January. So it was in the can for quite a while until they released it. I didn't find out what the budget was, but it hasn't even made $750,000. It's only the number I came up with, $643,000 so far.
Oh.
So it's very low key. It's about real life.
Do you know how
There's
much they spent on it?
No, I don't. I didn't find that number.
Probably less than
Probably.
that though.
Maybe.
There's no
I
way
guess,
they spent like $1 million.
I guess maybe $2 million. I would guess.
Really?
You can't make a movie for less than
You
a
can't. I
million.
mean, yeah. It's
I mean, you can. But
well, you can, but it's not going to be like this one. But I like this movie a lot. This was a really good movie. There was a lot of not just to mention the food service like background of it, which I have background in food service, but the relationship between the main two characters, Richard Jenkins and Shane Paul McGee. Richard Jenkins was one of the parents in was John C. Reilly's dad in Step Brothers, if you remember that movie, or he was in Cabin in the Woods, and a bunch of other stuff too. But it's this character he plays is very different, very sort of introspective, very internally based, very quiet, kind of a sort of a milquetoast pushover kind of guy. And in the movie, the Javon is his name, is the actor, or is the character's name that comes in, and he just got out of jail, just for some minor. He just got out of jail, not prison, for some minor vandalism. But he's got a couple scenes with a parole officer, and then he has a couple scenes with his son and his girlfriend, kind of, and then aunt and uncle and things like that. So he's got that family aspect to it. And in Richard Jenkins' case, he's got a best friend who's played by Ed O'Neill, Ed O'Neill, who's Al in Married with Children.
Right.
So we all know who that is. And he's Ed O'Neill's stuff that's not Married with Children is excellent. He's an excellent actor, which you wouldn't notice because he, like, the first thing anybody knows him for is putting his hand down his pants and watching television and flushing the toilet and watching TV and drinking beer and stuff like that. So, which is kind of hilarious, but he's a really good actor. And the story is essentially they have some troubles communicating with each other. I mean, basically the beginning of the movie is basically Javon getting the job, and then it's like most of the movie is them working together.
It's not a cooking movie then.
No,
Okay.
they do chicken and burgers and stuff like that.
Okay.
But it's a 24-hour place. So the shift that they're on is the graveyard shift. So it's just the two of them, and eventually it's just going to be Javon. That's the whole point, because Richard, I don't know his name actually, but Richard Jenkins' character is about to leave and move down south to Florida to be with his mom. And that's another sort of tension sort of thing.
So it's just kind of a real
Drama?
life kind of drama.
Yeah, real life drama. Yeah, yep, totally.
Nobody gets killed.
No, nothing like that. Yeah, Richard buys a car that kind of breaks down, and he actually has never driven. Like, he doesn't have, like, him driving was a very tense moment too, because at one point he's on the side of the road and he opens his door and it just gets taken off by a bus.
Oh.
So like a bus drives right by him. Like he opens it like a split second before the bus drives by, so the bus can't react at all. So and then the next scene is him with a new door with a different color. It's like blue and the car's white or something like that. But yeah, it's a short movie too. It's only 90 minutes. And the ending kind of surprised me. Like, it was sort of that fade, like that pull out, fade to black kind of thing, and I was like, this can't be the ending of the movie. There's nothing that doesn't really get resolved. Like the tension of the movie doesn't really get resolved in the end. It's still there.
Sometimes that works, but sometimes it's frustrating.
And at the end, and both of them don't work at the fry place anymore. So Javon has a job at like a library. And he's like a writer in the movie too, so he sort of gets back into that, which is good. And it's really the growth. The main movie is about the growth of the younger guy, of Javon, and of how he's just accepting his responsibilities and things like that, normal stuff like that. But him working with Richard's character in that place kind of seems to help him and seems to help him grow. But it was very good. I'd give it a 1. I would guess that it would probably be streaming soon. I doubt it's still in theaters. It had been out. I mean, if it was still in theaters, it'd be out for another 2.5 months or something like that, which is even a long time for non-COVID times. But yeah, I liked it a lot, and I definitely suggest it.
Awesome. The name, The Last Shift.
The Last Shift. I had some trouble remembering the actual.
That's kind of a tongue twister.
I thought it was the night shift and stuff like that, but it's not that. It's The Last Shift.
I think what they should do is make it a longer time to put it in streaming.
Yeah.
Because it used to be like, even when I was like a little kid, it was like 6 months at least.
Yeah.
But now it's just like 2 months and
Kind
you
of
get
the
it.
amount of time.
And this year it's been, lots of stuff.
Even
never
shorter.
Never even went to the theater.
Right.
Exactly.
Right, yeah.
Which is like probably not the best.
You always knew how well a movie did by the time between it leaving the theater and it coming out on video.
Yeah.
Sometimes it was like 2 weeks.
'Cause, like,
and it was just like, wow, that movie did not do well.
With Marvel movies and like Star Wars movies, like the new ones, it took them like 6 months to release on video.
Yeah, right.
Even though it's like 2018 or
still,
2015.
Right. They still made money in the theaters, yeah.
Yeah. So that's why they kept them in there for longer.
Right.
Like they kept them in there for 3 months, and then you had to wait 3 months. So then they would make you want to watch it in the movie theater so you wouldn't miss out.
Or release a video right before Christmas so everybody buys it for everybody. Everybody buys it for everybody for Christmas.
Perfect time would be to release a movie June, wait 6 months, release it on video like December.
Or release it in December, wait 12 months, and then release the video. When the sequel,
you can put it back out.
Keep it in the movie theater for 6 months. Wait 6 months, get it in. But yeah, but now it's just like as soon as it gets out of the movie theater, it's like a month, and so it's like there's like no point, or it feels like more no point to like not go to the movie theater.
I changed my mind since we just did a Netflix series.
Oh, I was going to compare Netflix series, but yeah.
Oh yeah, well the Netflix, the one that I saw. Been watching is called Messiah. It came out in January. Good one. It's got it's kind of a thriller and it's somewhat apocalyptic, but it's happening now. And Michelle Monaghan is the only actress that I know that's in it. But the other ones are a couple of them you might recognize. But it's basically kind of what it sounds like. There's a guy that comes that's like a Messiah in modern times. It's like the second coming of Jesus or something, and they're the CIA is trying to determine if they're a hoax or what's going on, because everybody's kind of going nuts about it. You know,
Crazy.
the reason I wanted to table that a little bit was that I just remembered that I watched a movie called The Peanut Butter Falcon.
Oh,
That it's in 2019. That I don't know if you guys have seen. I thought
I've
I'd
not
forget to
seen
say it.
I have seen that one.
I thought I'd forget to say it. It's got Shia LaBeouf and Dakota Johnson are the main actors and actresses, and those guys are not necessarily the greatest actors, I don't think, but this movie is you don't really see a family movie like this very often, and it was really like little kids would like it, everybody would like it. It's sort of a cross between Huckleberry Finn and I don't know what, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles or something like that. It's kind of
That's
a weird.
kind of a weird combination.
Yeah, it's kind of and with Dakota Johnson and Shia LaBeouf, wow, that's just weird to me.
Yeah.
That is a little bit weird.
But anyway, I saw it's on Netflix. No, it's on. Oh, dang it! I think it's on Prime. Anyway, you can find it streaming, but it's an easy one to
Just look
remember.
right there.
It's an easy one to remember.
Will you give it to me? I want to see.
There you go. It's on Hulu. That's what it is.
Is it premium subscription or
No,
not?
just subscription on Hulu.
Oh, then you just watch it on
Yeah,
Hulu.
it's
If it's premium subscription,
It's also on
then
Amazon Prime, so those are both it's subscription there. On YouTube, it's $15. But anyway, I just wanted to recommend it to people because I haven't seen a movie that good. That was
Oh, you can review it then.
yeah, that's what I'm doing. So I thought I'd do that one, and it's just a adventure story, and it there's a developmentally disabled boy who runs away and gets befriended by Shia LaBeouf and character, and so on and so forth, and Dakota Johnson's character is the social worker trying to figure out what's going on. And it seems funny, but for some reason it works in the movie. It's very entertaining, and like I said, anybody could watch it, and that's what I really liked about it, was how wholesome it was. And there's some bad guys in it, but they're not. There's no violence really, and no just some adventure. So I'm giving that one a high recommendation, and that's my movie for the time.
Yeah, I would give that a 1 too. That's a
I've not
really
seen it,
really
probably
good.
to
I think I
watch
saw
it.
it in
Yeah,
the
yeah.
actual theaters.
Did you?
So yeah, it was so good.
Yeah.
And Shia has like he's in some goofy stuff, but again, he's an excellent actor.
Yeah.
The ones that I think were really
is
funny.
really well known for really not his best stuff.
Yeah, the things that I thought
Because-
were really funny was like Transformers, and like the first one was like good, but then all the other ones that they did, like so many of them, and I just remember thinking about them now of how bad they were.
The first one was good.
First
At
one
least
was
it was
good.
entertaining.
They were
It was
Really
entertaining,
sweet,
but like all the other ones, just
Good. This
bad
is a
story,
good
bad
movie.
acting.
That's just good.
Yeah.
This is just good
Yeah.
movie, entertaining and good story, a good moral to the story, good all the way around. And
I realize
So-
how like old people have gotten, like Tom Hanks. Even though I wasn't around during his prime, but like Tom Hanks and Jim Carrey, all those people look really old now. Even Adam Sandler.
I know, even Adam Sandler.
People in their 50s and 60s.
Yeah.
Adam Sandler can't be over 55.
No, they just look old, like compared to like the movies that I've like watched. you
Oh,
know?
sure.
Yeah,
They're well known for their stuff before or when they were young.
I mean that makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, if it's any consolation, the movies of the people that I remember, they're all dead now. In your case, they just look old, but John Wayne and Steve McQueen and all those guys are
Robin Williams, maybe.
Robin
Yeah.
Williams. They're all
Robert Redford.
Speaking of Robin Williams,
Paul
that
Newman.
would be an entree into our special
Excellent
topics.
Good job.
For the night.
How about a
Nice.
segue there?
Yeah.
So,
Segue for us.
Segue of all time.
considering the political situation right now, it is the November 5th right now, the night of November 5th.
Still hasn't been decided yet.
Still has not been decided yet.
Who is the
They
president?
said-
2 hours ago or
They
whatever.
said it
it
might
was.
take until November 10th,
No, it's not going to take that long.
November.
But
November.
but they said it might.
there are a couple of states that are going to take that long. But we're thinking about talking about president movies or movies about presidents. And I'm going to turn my piece of mail over here and have my little list. we weren't really thinking of like top 5 or anything like that, but
Just
but we
presidents.
were just talking about. I mean, I guess I could
Movies.
rattle off
What are
probably
the
top 5.
what I thought was cool was the guys, and is there ever been a woman who's played the president in a movie?
Oh yeah, tons.
Really?
Yeah, the second Independence Day, that was a female president in that movie.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
there's a movie that I just remembered. Oh,
But
it's
yeah.
with what's his name? What's his name?
So
Seth Rogen and
doesn't he like date another time with like Katherine Heigl or something
Yeah,
like that?
yeah, knocked
It's
up.
Like, knocked up. He's like he's like in a series of relationships with unattainable women.
Yeah, like
exactly.
gorgeous.
the long
women.
shot. The long shot.
Long
There
shot.
we go,
There
yeah,
you go.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyway, those are
That's
some
a president movie,
interesting.
technically, kind
In
of.
fact,
not
earlier,
really.
we were
She's
talking
trying to
about
be president, I guess.
one of the
Oh,
movies
sure.
that, and I said, was Morgan Freeman the president? And Andy said, no, he was the vice president. And then later we remembered a movie where he was the
Right.
president.
Deep
And so-
impact.
Deep
Yep.
impact. And so I was just
can be
laughing.
every
We had Robin
position.
Williams from Man of the Year. We had what was the guy?
What about Denzel Washington? Was he ever a president?
He has to have been.
There's like no Independence Day. No, I know. No, never mind.
He isn't really that kind of character.
No,
I don't know.
no,
He's
not so
more
much.
he's more the do the dirty work for the president kind of guy.
Usually, yeah.
Well, I don't know.
Morgan
He could be.
Freeman's like the president.
Right.
He could be
how about-
every position.
What was the one
Senate,
where he was where
Congress.
Morgan was the vice president? What was that guy's name? Who was,
Olympus Has Fallen. And Aaron Eckhart. Was
Aaron
the
Eckhart was
actual-
president, yes.
Gerard Butler.
well, and then there's Air Force One with Harrison Ford,
Get off my plane.
Get off my plane.
and West Wing with the TV show with Martin Sheen.
And Bradley Whitmore and Rob Lowe and Allison Janney and who's the vice president in that? Shoot, there's a ton of people. I watched the heck out of that show.
Yeah? You like that?
I don't know why I liked it so much. It just was.
I haven't watched it yet. I don't know.
Yeah, there's a term
It was
called.
super popular.
It's sort of like they call it sometimes when other folks in that show there was a lot of dialogue like delivered while walking down a hallway.
Okay.
So you call
All
it
right.
you call it West Winging it.
Oh, okay.
Where you it's realistic because those folks like
Sure,
there's a bunch of
sure.
offices. You got to go to different
there was
offices.
a president
so they're walking
movie-
around like the White House, and the camera's just backing
Am I
away
thinking of the same
from them
movie
as
as
they
you?
were walking around. Well, I'm talking about a TV show.
They like get down to the basement and like the guy's gonna launch the codes.
That's one with Aaron Eckhart.
That's Olympus Has Fallen.
Olympus Has Fallen.
Yeah,
And then they break through, and then they're
there's
able
like
to get.
South Korean like diplomats with them, right? That they bring down to the vault,
Oh yeah.
and
yeah,
they end up being bad guys.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
that's the way.
All right.
It's
Yeah.
the
It's
the,
they do the
um,
same thing where they have all in one scene. They're going down the White House.
Yeah,
halls,
sure,
And they're
sure.
like all just like, doing the scene.
right.
And he's
right.
like getting papers. He's like, like, here's this paper, sir. And
Yeah,
he's,
it's
like, picking up
exactly
the
that.
papers,
I
reading
mean,
the papers.
West
and
Wing did that first. Like that show. I mean, not first, but like it's just pandemonium.
At least in the
sometimes,
White
too.
House.
Like, and people are walking past them. Like as the
Yeah.
two like are walking, and the camera's here,
Yeah.
and they're walking.
It's
There's
all
people going
perfectly
here,
planned.
here, like past
Yeah.
them, past the camera,
Yeah.
past the camera, past them, like back into the. And it's
Yep.
like it's the choreography of it is incredible. And they're delivering the lines in a clear way so that you can drive the plot forward and stuff like that. But there's a lot of just walking in that show, and there's
Like
very
1917, like all walking. We did a episode on that.
right. Oh, right, yeah,
Where
yeah.
they're all just like walking.
Same idea.
There's
Yeah,
like
I mean,
so
not
much walking.
not so
it's like,
much no cutting and stuff like that. But
Yeah,
yeah, right.
yeah,
Pretty much the idea. Yeah, you're it's kind of funny. It gets goofy sometimes. Like there's parodies made of it and stuff like that. But that was a good one.
One of the ones from my youth was called Dr. Strangelove, where Peter Sellers is the
Wait, what?
Dr. Strangelove is the name of the movie, and
Oh, I thought you said Doctor. Well, you did say Doctor Strange, but
Yeah.
that's just.
yeah, it's a
Different.
different Dr.
Yeah.
Strange. Strangelove is and Peter Sellers plays the president and a couple of other characters, and that's a Stanley Kubrick movie. I mean, kind of one of his first big ones. But
Where the guy's riding the bomb down.
yeah, that's Slim Pickens. Is
Yeah,
that guy's
right.
the guy
Yeah,
riding-
Slim Pickens. Yep.
That's his name.
Yep.
And,
Who's in Blazing Saddles.
The best
and
scene
stuff.
of that movie though is George C. Scott when the plot of the movie is that they accidentally send bombers to Russia to bomb them with nukes. And it's like a mistake, and they accidentally send them, and so they're in the airspace, and then and the Russians clearly are not going to be able to stop them, so they have to decide should they call the Kremlin and tell them that they're coming, and that they
Right.
and so George C. Scott is this like trigger happy like head of chief of staff what do you call the guy who's a head general Joint Chiefs, the head of the Joint Chiefs.
I can't remember. Yeah. I know
Anyway,
what
he's
you're
the
talking about.
he's the main military guy, and they're sitting at the table, and he goes he kind of loses it. He goes, we gotta jump on the commies. We could just get them. We could get them if we just dropped them right now. They wouldn't even know what he
right.
loses it,
Yeah.
And the president's just sitting there calmly, wait until but it's one of the greatest scenes ever.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I should watch that again.
the
I haven't
president,
seen it in a long time.
the president is Peter Sellers, and another funny one is Rob Reiner's American President, where Michael Douglas. It's sort of like a love story.
That's a Rob Reiner?
Yeah.
Holy moly.
Yeah.
That.
From the late '90s, I believe, and
My favorite is Dave.
Dave. Yeah,
That one's got to be my favorite
That's a
movie
good-
about the president.
that's a good one.
The body double, and
Right.
and
that's
everybody's
right.
like,
That's
and
right.
he's like, because the president is a jerk.
Yeah,
he's a complete jerk.
But is it like he accidentally gets shot to the president, or he's in a coma or something? What happened?
he has a seizure or something. He's in a coma. Yeah, there's some medical
That's right.
situation
Right.
that the president
Right.
has problems with, and
They decide to just leave
and
the guy
then-
in there for a while.
and then they just leave him there. Yeah, and
Maybe-
it's Ving Rhames and Christopher. No, wait, is it Christopher Lee? No, but Ben Stein is in it, and Sigourney Weaver is in it, and
Jesus' wife, right?
yeah, Sigourney Weaver plays this
perfect.
first lady. Oh,
Yeah.
big time! Yeah, big
perfect
time.
casting.
And it's super good. Like it's such a. I mean, it's just about him like dealing with it and stuff like that. It's sort of like a King Ralph kind of thing, if you remember that movie.
Yeah.
That was sort of like like the 50 most monarchy people of England get killed in like this freak accident. So they have to find the guy that's
Yeah.
actually in line and stuff. And it
Yeah.
ends up being John Candy.
Yeah.
And he's like, I can't handle it because it's the king, or he's the king of England now.
Yeah.
But it's some same idea. Like this normal guy becomes president, like pretty much overnight.
Yeah.
And he has trouble dealing with it at first, but then he sort of gets into it and like
Oh,
becomes
yeah,
a better
yeah,
president.
yeah,
I mean, he
yeah.
makes it like he makes the situation better because
Yeah.
like the guy that he's replacing was sort of a jerk.
Maybe
Yeah.
maybe next time we can do dictators movies.
That would work.
Dictators
Monarch.
would be a good one. Yeah.
Yeah, that would work.
Well, what do you think?
That's
Any other
good.
president ones? I think we wrapped them up.
There's the White House Down, Olympus Fallen
Oh, yeah,
Same
those-
thing, but
Same
they're the
movie,
same
same
movie. I kind of like White House Down a little better just because it's a little more fun. And
It is.
Channing Tatum and Jamie Foxx have a better screen chemistry than Gerard Butler and Aaron Eckhart.
Right.
And Aaron Eckhart, and they're not really together in the movie either, because Aaron Eckhart's down in the vault being held hostage by the
Right,
bad guys.
right.
And in White House Down, they're kind of together because like he's sort of
Right. He's trying to get him,
trying to get
protect
him out of the
Right, yeah.
out of the White
Yeah.
House and not keep him in there. So
Yeah.
and James Woods is in that one too, which is he's the bad guy in there, which is
Right.
good. So
Does James Good ever play a good guy? Anyway, sorry. Next
I don't think so.
next to Gary
I can't
Oldman.
remember. Yeah, right, exactly,
Willem
yeah.
Dafoe.
All right.
Willem
yeah.
Dafoe plays a good guy in John Wick.
Oh,
I mean, he's a good. I mean, he's a
goodish.
he's. I mean, it's a bunch
body
of
count
it's a
is
bunch
less
of
than 20.
assassins. So
Yeah,
like
yeah,
I don't know how
exactly.
you could call him a good guy, but he doesn't do what the bad guy tells him to do. I guess that makes him a good guy.
That
in
makes
that
him
way.
good. Yeah. Less bad.
Less bad. Yeah.
Well,
So-
what do you say we wrap her up for tonight?
Sounds good. Thanks for watching,
Alright.
folks.
Thank you
We'll be
for
back
watching.
soon. Keep watching movies, I guess. Keep subscribing. Keep liking.
Yeah. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.